The Indian subcontinent is a blessed land. Nature has adorned it with the most wonderful jewels from her treasure chest. Vast, vast forests, perennial waterfalls, gushing streams, green mountains, a rich wildlife, an explosion of color and green grandeur. This is the legacy which we inherited and exploited. Nature gave, we took, and kept on taking away more than we required and deserved. Be it firewood to light the hearth, timber to build structures, or other useful produce for various applications. And, as if that was not enough, we destroyed forests for profit and let our stray cattle and animals run amok to inflict incalculable damage on plant cover. Forests have been denuded. The once green hills have become barren, as millions of tons of fertile topsoil has been washed down. Rivers and streams have dried up. Wastelands have been created where there were once green pastures. In our country, we have managed to destroy greenery and render millions of hectares of fertile land into wastelands. With the destruction of virgin forest, wild animals are getting homeless. Hundreds of species are threatened with extinction. Nature weeps, and we, the proud sons, pretend not to listen.
जंगलातून सरपण आणणार हां व घराला 4 लाख लागले तर त्यांच्या विचाराशिवाय ते आणायचं जुळडा शिक काय होती ते शिक काय भासले आता ते काय राहिलं नाही.
Though it is already late, efforts will have to be made to restore back the plant cover lost due to our excesses. One of the most important solutions to this problem is judicious management of land resources and honest participation by everybody concerned. In fact, the earlier exercises in plantation done by the Forest Department could not achieve desired results simply because people continued to exploit forests despite strict controls. As in case of this teak plantation. There apparently was a lack of coordination or a sort of communication gap between the people and the forest officials. In a complete change from the earlier policy, the government now has left both the plantation and protection of the forest in hands of the people who actually depend upon it. The government has two such schemes.
On thinking, we realized that it is necessary to have their participation in all the activities. So now we have got two programs called Joint Forest Management and Village Eco Development Program, in which we involve the people since beginning. From the collection of data, micro level planning of the schemes, we involve the villagers.
Under these schemes, the Forest Department undertakes plantations on both government as well as community and private lands owned by the villages. Extensive soil and moisture conservation works are also carried out. As a first step, the forest officials visit the villages and strike a dialogue with the villagers.
After a number of meetings, village community came round and opened their mind to us, and they said that if we are provided with our needy material regularly and as a first charge, then only we will allow you to work in that particular area. So, taking this as a cue, we have decided that we will to start working in this particular area.
For any successful project, involvement of the people is a must, and hence through the medium of the Gram Sabha, we had an interaction where people placed their certain demands for their involvement in the project. The one was that they wanted an approach road to the nearest market center from their village to a place called Borgaon Manju, and secondly, they had a water problem in the village in the stream which was flowing nearby, which used to dry up in the middle of April. They wanted it to sustain for a longer time. After having a dialogue with them, we accepted their demands, and thereafter they started cooperating with us.
Though there are certain initial hiccups, the essence of these schemes is to make people aware of the necessity to conserve forests and let them think all by themselves about the steps they are going to take. Propagating village microplan is another important aspect of the complete plan to manage forest land and water resources of the village. A forest protection committee is set up, taking members from amongst the villagers. special efforts are taken to mobilize women folk of the villages and make them participate in these programs. The committee decides on the variety of trees to be planted. After all, they know their needs, and the produce is to be shared and utilized by them. The forest officials simply coordinate the proceedings and advise whenever necessary. After deciding the plant mix to be planted, the first stage of the actual land management work begins. The foremost priority is to build small bunds or retaining structures on existing dried waterways to trap rainwater and control soil erosion. Subsequently, trenches are dug on barren hills, both for trapping water as well as for replantation. Small pits are dug over the wastelands for plantations during monsoons. The Forest Department then provides saplings for plantation, which are acquired either from government nurseries or from local nurseries. This kind of work also gives employment to such villagers and imbibes a sense of propriety in them.
We have also offered these particular people, this particular village community to raise seedlings for planting within their premise, and they have now decided to work regularly the forest and raise the plantations in the blank areas in coordination with the forest department and other agencies round about.
In a picture of total support, the Forest Department also helps marginal farmers having lands near the forests to level their fields so as to facilitate agricultural activity and produce more grain from their lands.
व शेतीमध्ये झाडं लावायला दिली, पेरूची दिली, भेंडीची दिली, काही अशी सपाटीकरण दिलं जागा बनवायला का बुवा इथं भात शेती होऊ शकते. हां मग इथं बुवा सपाटीकरण जर केली तर त्यात म्हणजे 2 मन 1 पोता भात व्हायचं ते बुवा 2 पोते होईल.
And the monsoons arrive. It's going to be a different story this year. Water gets stored in the trenches and bunds. Life sprouts on the barren hills.
Soil erosion can be minimized by use of continuous contour trench technique. The theme of continuous contour trenching is one which is running, make it to walk, one which is walking, make it to stop, and one which is stopping, let it be absorbed in the soil. As you know, Ahmednagar district has very scanty rainfall. With the result, every drop of rain in this area is very important. The CCC technique comes to our help for stopping each and every drop in the soil.
The ugly chrome black land becomes gloriously green. Streams gush down playfully. The green grandeur is back. The trees grow to fulfill the requirement of land, fodder and timber of local community. The groundwater level increases. The soil erosion gets contained. What remains to be contained is the unscrupulous exploitation, or else we are back to square one. Suddenly one begins to feel prosperous.
ज्या डोंगराळ प्रदेशात झाड दिसायचं नाही तो पट्टा आता हिरवागार झालेला आहे आणि त्यांनी ह्या ज्या योजना केल्या यापासून आमच्या गावची पातळी वाढली, पाण्याचा प्रश्न सुटला, आरोग्याचा प्रश्न सुटला आणि सरपणाचा पण सुटला. चारा जास्त वाढल्यामुळे आमच्या इथं गाईची आणि म्हशीची संख्या बरीचशी वाढलेली आहे आणि ती संख्या वाढल्यामुळे शेतकऱ्यांना जोडधंदा म्हणून डेअरीचा धंदा सुरू झाला आणि डेअरीचा धंदा दर आठवड्याला जो आज 500, 1000 किंवा 200 मिनिमम 200 हा पैसा त्याच्या हातात खेळायला लागला. त्यांची परिस्थिती, आर्थिक परिस्थिती जी पहिली होती ती आता पालटली.
Protection of the plantations is as important as planting itself.
But more important was that once we raise those assets of plantations in their private and community land, who will look after them? We posed this question to them. They said, we want a watchman from the department, from the government department. We said, how do you protect your own lands where you are raising your agricultural crops? They said, we protect ourselves. So then we said, then who will protect now? Sir, we are made a mistake. We are going to protect these areas also ourselves. As a result, we could get a help on watch and ward, and we initiated Charai Bandi in that area.
The protection is left in the hands of the villagers, and so is the regulation about usage of the forest produce and penalty to the careless.
गावकऱ्यांनी असे ठरवले की इथला जो एरियातला जंगल रक्षणाचा गावानेच करेल आणि तिथलं फळझाड तोडू नये आणि विक्री करू नये. गरजेपुरतं जंगलातून आम्ही आणणार आणि जर कोणी फळझाड तोडले तर त्याला दंड 1 से 1 रुपये दंड.
Of course, Sometimes the penalties can be very strict.
आम्ही जेव्हा जंगल वाढवलं ग्रामस्थांनी तेव्हा एक सागाचं पान तोडलं तरी आम्ही त्याला 100 रुपये दंड म्हणून घेत होतो आणि जो कोणी सांगेल त्याला त्याच्यातले आम्ही 51 रुपये बक्षीस म्हणून देत होतो आणि असं करून लोकांना तो उत्साह वाढत गेला.
But this kind of self-regulation yields rich dividends. Even a few environmentally concerned people coming together can make a lot of difference. Projects like these require only a will to self-regulate and a desire to protect the environment, and that too for our own benefits. Experiments done by certain NGOs have yielded good results. They have played a vital role in linking officials and local people.
मिट्टी, पानी, जंगल, जीव जंतु और लोग ये एक ही प्रकृति के अविभाज्य अंग हैं. इनको टुकड़ों टुकड़ों में विभाजित करके सही व्यवस्थापन नहीं हो सकता. इनका सही व्यवस्थापन होना होगा तो लोगों का सहभाग ये बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण बात है. लोगों का सहभाग कहाँ साध्य हो सकता है? जहाँ पे सर्वसहमति से निर्णय लेने वाली ग्राम सभा अस्तित्व में आती है, वहीं लोगों का सही अर्थ में सहभाग प्राप्त होता है. और इन लोगों में सबसे महत्वपूर्ण है महिलाएं, क्योंकि पुरुष जो है वो पैसे की ओर देखते हैं और महिलाएं हैं वो जीवन का विचार करती है. और जब महिलाएं हावी होती है निर्णय में तो उसके निर्णय की गुणवत्ता बहुत अलग होती है. इस गांव की एक घोषणा है, दिल्ली बंबई में हमारी सरकार, हमारे गांव में हम ही सरकार. जल जंगल जमीन से संबंधित जो भी निर्णय होगा वो हम मतलब गांव लेगा. और इसमें हमें मदद की जरूरत है. हम ये काम सिर्फ खुद नहीं कर सकते. स्वयंसेवी संस्था, वन विभाग, इनकी सबकी मदद गांव को चाहिए. लेकिन फिर इनकी भूमिका क्या है? निर्णय लेने का काम गांव वालों का. लेकिन गांव वालों को यह काम अच्छी तरह करने में पूरी तरह से मदद करने का जो काम है वो वन विभाग का और स्वयंसेवी संस्था का है. अगर स्वयंसेवी संस्था, वन विभाग और गांव के लोग अपनी अपनी भूमिकाओं को समझकर काम करते हैं तो उसका क्या अच्छा परिणाम आ सकता है, इसका उदाहरण है मेंढा लेखा.
With the unity of the people, one thing is sure, that the commercial intruder won't be able to exploit the forest dwellers hereafter. And the forest department is always willing to help. Apart from direct benefits like usage of forest produce, grants given by the government for support developmental activities, and profits share in the sale of produce, the biggest incentive is that inexpressible spiritual satisfaction achieved out of creation. A feeling of repayment of a loan, the loan of environment, which we have taken from our children and their future.